Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for another installment of the Bulldog Business Show. We are your one-stop shop for all the great things that are happening in the College of Business here at Mississippi State. We also keep you informed on our social media platforms, so join us over there. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and on X. And if you are listening to our podcast today, welcome in to you also. We're glad to have you here. All right, coming up, lessons learned outside the classroom. Live case classes are giving our students some unique experiences in the College of Business. We're going to talk to one of our professors and a student about that just ahead. First, though, we want to begin with our business bites, as we always do. So we celebrated Homecoming 2025 by commemorating the College of Business 110th birthday. Club 1915 hosted a tailgate before the game. We enjoyed visiting and connecting with alumni who were back on campus for the game and some other activities. Thanks to all of you who stopped by our tent for some food and drinks and sweets, and we all had some really cool, fun College of Business merch to give away, and we hope to see you again next year. Now, have you seen it? Our new website has gotten a makeover. Our marketing team is calling it a major glow up, is what they're saying. They've been very busy behind the scenes working to make sure that your experience on our website is user friendly and that it's easy to navigate, and it is. There are new pages to explore, there's updated programs you can go there and look at, and some informative videos, and it is mobile friendly. So go check it out. Go to business.msstate.edu to take a look at our brand new website. And now, how we're bringing learning to life in the College of Business. Dr. Chris Boone is a professor of supply chain logistics, and he leads one of our live case classes, and he is joining us today. Dr. Boone, thanks so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
So before we get into the live case class, I want you to give us a little bit of background about who Dr. Boone is, what your MSU story.
Okay, I'm happy to do that. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to be here and be part of the Bulldog Business Show. So I'm excited to do that. I originally grew up in a small town in West Tennessee, so Dyersburg, Tennessee. I spent the first 20 plus years of my professional career as a logistics officer in the United States Air Force, and then made the transition into academia and joined the faculty here at Mississippi State in 2019, largely to be part of helping grow and build a supply chain logistics major here at Mississippi State.
So now we have gotten into being able to do supply chain logistics for some live case classes. What is a live case class, simply?
Well, I think simply put, I'd say it's real. And what I mean by that is it's the students are working with a real company. They have the opportunity to work on a real business challenge, a real problem. They're getting access to real data, and they're getting to apply the skills and knowledge that they've gained in their classes to provide real solutions, real actionable solutions to the company. And it ends with them presenting to the leadership of that company. So in terms of the type of experience we can provide our students, the live case class is the most realistic experience that we can provide our students, at least that I'm involved in. And so I think it's being real, I think, is if I had to sum it up into one word.
And for the third time, we're working with a really great partner in Taylor. So talk about that, this group and what they're working on. And
we really are, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think an essential part to the success of any live case class is the company we're working with. And so Taylor has been such an incredible partner for us. Literally, I think Lex's own words was, he wanted the company to be a classroom, and they've embraced that. Our students spend multiple days down at Taylor, touring the different facilities, engaging with their leadership, engaging with managers, engaging with the experts in the different business areas. And so just them and their support has been really instrumental for us being able to do these classes successfully.
I appreciate your inviting me to go down during their initial visit to Taylor this year's class, and really it was amazing to see what they have access to. I mean, really all of the behind the scenes, a lot of the just information that they need to work on the problems.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's what makes it so important. I think one of the things when you think about our students, I think all of them, they're very bright, they're very intelligent, they've had a lot of classes, and so, but many of them they're hungry to apply the things that they've learned and to really understand the value and the benefits of the things that they've learned. And so being able to go down there, to be able to walk the line, to see and put things in context. So it's one thing to talk about a manufacturing operation, it's another thing, as you saw, to walk through it and see it and understand it. And so I think that context, that experience is just invaluable for our students.
One of the things that makes Taylor a good partner and other companies we work with live case classes is that they have to be accessible to us, and that's what's been important with this relationship too.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And so, I mean, something as simple as data, right? So, I mean, that's often companies are very hesitant, to provide data.
Sure.
But that, I think, Andrew, that's a credit to Taylor and the culture that they have there. So, to allow a faculty member and a group of students to come in and for them just to openly share some of the real issues and challenges they're having, and to invite us to try to help them with that. So, I think it speaks a lot to the culture of the company, and again, just the importance of that relationship for us to be able to make these classes successful, because the students, they know if it's not real, right? And so I think hopefully they all walk away believing that that what they've done is important, and that it's going to have a real impact on Taylor.
I think the other important thing about these classes is, in addition to putting into real world experience what they've learned in the classroom, some of the soft skills that maybe you don't learn in class, you get through this experience.
Absolutely you do. And so I think one of the things that I think we're seeing in terms of just the nature, the world's changing. I think the nature of work is changing as well. And so with that, I think we have to think through how we're preparing our students to be career ready. And so these types of learning environments, I think, give our students an opportunity to gain the experience that's necessary. And so just the other day, I had a conversation with one of our key employers, and he shared that they'll get up to 100 applicants for an entry-level job position. And so I asked him, well, how do you differentiate, what are you going to choose? And his answer was, it's experience. And so when you think about that in terms of how do we help our students, they're all bright, they're getting great skills, but how do we really help them differentiate themselves in the market? And so I think it's that experience. And so we certainly encourage internships and projects and classes, but I think this live case class is a really unique way for students to get internship level experience as part of a traditional class.
Well, one of your standout students who is already making a name for himself, we're going to talk to him in just a minute, who's in this class.
Oh, Elijah,
and we're going to do that,
absolutely.
right after the break. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.
At Mississippi State University, business isn't just learned, it's lived. From hands-on projects to real-world partnerships, our students don't just prepare for the future, they help shape it. They turn ideas into impact through experiential learning and entrepreneurship. At Mississippi State, our students gain the skills, confidence, and connections to lead. Experience Bulldog Business and build the future you imagine.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Elijah Davis is joining us now. He is a student in the live case class working on this project with Taylor. And Elijah, we're so glad you're here with us.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit before we get into your experience with the class, sort of I always like to get everybody's MSU story. What brought you to Mississippi State?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Tennessee, and coming out of high school, I was touring a few colleges. What really stood out to me about Mississippi State was referred to me by a friend, and I came here. And not just one, but multiple people actually sent me in the mail handwritten postcards after the fact, inviting me back, saying they're so happy to have me there. And that really stood out to me above just the kind of regular spam mail you get. The culture here really showed in the tour.
Well, coming into Mississippi State, you already had an idea of what you wanted to do, right, from previous work experience.
Correct, yeah. So I worked at Walmart through high school, and of course they have an excellent supply chain program, one of the biggest in the country. And so I knew I wanted to go into business, maybe something with our international partners. And the supply chain program here being so new, with so many great professors coming on, with so many great students joining, it seemed like a really good fit.
So let's talk about your experience so far in this live case class, this project that you're working on with Taylor. What's it been like for you?
It's been great, yeah. So we started off the class really strong, just getting to know Taylor, their whole company, their business model. It's been super interesting from the perspective of a local manufacturer in Mississippi. I never would have guessed that the forklifts that are out in California and Miami and all these different ports are actually built an hour away from campus.
Isn't that fascinating?
It is, yeah. You'd never guess that these massive forklifts, they're building them in hangars that look like you could fit a whole rocket ship in there. And so getting to know their business was super cool, and then really getting into the data they've given us and the real world challenges, and just seeing how sometimes the different equations we learn and formulas and best practices we learn in the classroom don't always work exactly the way we want them to in real life. And so having to adapt and come up with creative solutions as a team has been a really great experience.
That's that realness that Dr. Boone talked about. Think about your expectations going into the course and then what you've experienced. Have there been any surprises for you?
I was definitely surprised by the amount of investment the College of Business has put into the class. I figured it would coming from just my experience, it would be like a project. You know, we come in, they'd have some data, we'd work on it. I really didn't expect to get so deep into it, to have so much like FaceTime with Taylor, have their, you know, managers and executives like working with us. They're emailing us whenever we need, and just working with all the other students. It's just like the scope of it was much greater than I expected, in the best way possible.
So if there were students or friends of yours or classmates from other classes who were considering and kind of on the fence, what would you say to them to encourage them to do it? You need to do it.
I would tell them to move mountains to do it. We have some of the best college advisors in the College of Business, and like my advisor, Miss Watson, she will do anything and everything to make my class schedule work, and that's what I would encourage students to do. Just do it. I know it takes up a whole Friday, but it's completely worth it, and we get free lunch, so that's great.
I had the lunch when you all went to Taylor, by the way, and it was fantastic.
It was really good.
The really end goal in all this is that you're going to put together a presentation for Taylor. So talk about preparing for that presentation, where you're going to be sitting down, not just in front of the managers you've been talking to, but you know, the head guy at Taylor is going to be there.
Yeah, so we're preparing for that currently, and a lot of it is making sure that the data that we've done is presentable in such a way that it makes sense and it looks good. You know, we can't just throw up like our sheet with all these like rows and rows and rows. We have to make it make sense, and also just nailing down those presentation skills, those soft skills you were speaking to. You know, you want to keep it short and to the point, but make sure that all the information gets across. And
do you all as a group and a class, and maybe even with the help of your professors, decide who's best at presenting what portion of the presentation?
We do, yeah. So we determine that based on, we've had a couple of like practice presentations, I guess you could say, with Taylor as we continue building like our final recommendation. And so based on like who feels more comfortable presenting, who's presented in the past, and then what, we've kind of split our class into different teams, you know, so if you were on the AI team, you'd probably be presenting on that.
Well, I have a feeling that Taylor's going to be very impressed with this group and with all the work you all have done. One of the things I love to do on the show is share success stories, and you have one. So I want people to know very quickly before we go, you have already accepted a position once you graduate, right?
Yes, yeah, like I said, I have worked for Walmart. I'm continuing to work for Walmart, and after I graduate, I will be going to their merchandising program in Bentonville, Arkansas.
Excited about that, I'm sure.
I'm super excited, yeah, it's a great place to work.
All right, well, we are really proud of the work that you've done since you've been here in the College of Business. Good luck on the presentation that's coming up with Taylor. I'm sure it's going to be amazing, and we'll watch them put into action what you all come up with.
Yeah, we're really excited for it.
All right,
thank you.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. All right, so before we go, as always, we want to remind you to join Club 1915. One of the ways you can do that, if you're watching it, is by scanning that QR code. Get your phones out, scan the QR code on your screen. It will take you directly to the site where you can find out more information about Club 1915, and you can join. If you're listening to us on the podcast, that website is business.msstate.edu/Club 1915, and once you become a member, you will get monthly updates from our dean, Dr. Scott Graw. You will also get invitations to great events that we host across the country, and most importantly, you will be helping students here in the College of Business like Elijah, who do our live case classes. Thanks so much for joining us as always, and we'll see you back here next time.